Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video we're going to explore how to save a PowerPoint slide as a transparent PNG file. Okay, let's get started by looking at what the problem is by default in trying to do so in PowerPoint. So I have PowerPoint open here and I'm just going to create a new blank presentation. And I want to insert a blank slide because I don't want that title and all that on there. So I'm just going to say insert a blank slide and I'm going to delete the original. Now we have a blank slide. So let's take a look at what if I click on design and then slide size, let's take a look at the slide size. It's defaulting to 16 by 9 widescreen. Okay, and 16 by 9 widescreen is equivalent to 720p in a video. The other one, which is an HD video. The other one standard is SD. So widescreen is HD 16 by 9 and standard is SD 4 by 3. So we're going with the 16 by 9. And normally you wouldn't care about transparency because you're usually projecting on a projector or something like that, your PowerPoint presentation. But if you're a web developer using lightslider to create a slideshow on your web page or something like that, normally you'd be using Photoshop to create your image slides for your slideshow, which is pretty tedious, and although I've been doing it for years, I still like PowerPoint better because PowerPoint has plenty of shapes you can insert and you know, like call outs and rectangles and circles and all that stuff, which is a lot easier to do in PowerPoint than it is in Photoshop. So let's see what happens if I try to create a simple slide and save it as PNG. So I'm just going to insert a picture. See this device. And I like dealing with dogs, so I'm going to choose this one. Okay, here's a dog. I'm going to put him, try to get him right in the middle. There it is, there's the middle. And I'm going to put a little text in it as well, so I just choose the word art. And just something simple to start with here. Okay, move that up there. Okay, now I have a simple slide, and normally I would export as save as, and you change the file type to PNG. And when you do that, you're expecting to get some transparency in the background, but as you'll soon see, that doesn't happen. Let me browse for a location here. Let's see. Somewhere here I created a folder where I can put this. Test PowerPoint slides. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to call this default 16 by 9 720p. Okay, saving it as a PNG. Let me just save it. Alrighty, now let's go to that folder. We can see here it is, and to validate this, to check the transparency and the dimensions and the DPIs and all that, I'm going to open it up in Photoshop. It's just the only tool that I have available to quickly show this. Okay, here it is. It's got a white background. It's not transparent, because if it was transparent, it'd have a checkerboard for a background. Let's just take a look at the image size here. It is 1280 by 720 pixels, which is the dimensions of a 16 by 9 720p. And notice the resolution's at 90 or the 96 dpi, or pixels per inch, ppi. Okay, if we go back into PowerPoint, I'm going to cancel that for right now. Let's go back into PowerPoint. And in PowerPoint, there's a setting under File, Options, Advanced, and where is it at? Here, Image Size and Quality, right here. Okay, under this, there's Default Resolution, which defaults to high fidelity. And if we pull this down, we'll be able to see the different PPI settings that PowerPoint has for when you're saving this. And as you recall, it was 96 PPI in Photoshop, which is down here, 96 PPI. I'd like to set it to that. I don't know why high fidelity is calling 96 PPI. I'm not sure the definition of that, but we're going to see how 330 PPI is actually hard-coded later on in this video. But 96 PPI, I'm going to go ahead and set it to that, so that further on in this video, I'm going to show why I did that and what PowerPoint does with that 96 PPI. Okay, so I want to now go to a cheat sheet that I created here, an Excel spreadsheet. There's a magic number that I figured out mathematically in PowerPoint, and that magic number is 3.4375. Now that is what you take your original height and width, and you divide that height and width in order to get the correct dimensions when you do a save as picture with the right mouse click. Okay, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. Excuse me. It's kind of a complicated subject. Okay. First of all, there's an alternate way. Instead of File, Save As up here and then saving it as PNG, there's an alternate method. You could click on one of these and just do a Control A to select all. You want to select all of your objects, right? Then if you right mouse click, you can say Save as Picture. So I'm going to do this, is saving it as a PNG, and I'm just going to say, I'll name it the same thing, only I'll put SAP at the end for Save as Picture. Now, let's save that. We're going to go back to our folders here, and here's the SAP PNG. Now, you'll notice the original was 1280 by 720, and when I selected all those objects and exported those, it changed the dimensions to 1754 by 1246. The file size on it is 3.5 megabytes. The original size was only 297 kilobytes. So what happened here? Let's open this up in Photoshop so that we can see that in fact it cropped the selected items and resized the image for the crop size, 1754 by 1246. And notice the resolution is now 330, so in doing that right mouse click Save as Picture, it actually ignored the fact that I set that 96 dpi, and it defaulted to a resolution of 330 dpi, which is usually a printer DPI setting. So keeping that in mind, our goal here, at least my goal, is to have the exact same height and width as the original, which was, what was it, 1280 by 720, I think. Let's take a look at the original over here. Yeah, the original was 1280 wide and 720 high with 96 pixels resolution. Well, What I'm about to show you is how to solve the height and width problem and have that be identical to the original, only with a transparent background. I mean, this did good. It gave me the transparent background, but it resized my image on me. See, the checkerboard means transparent. And to prove that, if I add another layer onto this, pull the layer to the bottom, and choose a color like green, and then hit the paintbrush over here, with that one selected, I can give that a background of green, the transparent part of it. But the crop makes it so that the size and on the bottom they're all missing. So anyway, let's go back to PowerPoint and see what the solution to this problem actually is. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close these guys. I don't want to save anything. Just minimize that. Now I'm back at the PowerPoint. Now if we go back to our cheat sheet here, in order for me to use that right mouse save as picture to give me the correct height and width on the save, I have to use this magic number, I call it 3.4375. So what I do is, if you pull up a calculator and you divide 1280 by 3.4375, you're going to get this as a result. I'm calling this the slide width in pixels, okay? Not in inches, this is all in pixels. PowerPoint apparently removed the ability to display heights and widths in pixels, so you have to you have to specify px at the end of your height or width in order to convert it to pixels. Anyway, moving on, as far as the height, if you divide the height by 3.4375, you come up with this 209 number. So what I'm going to do to solve this problem, let's go back to PowerPoint, and I'm just going to close this without saving. And, okay, we're going to create a new blank presentation. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to insert a blank and get rid of the original. Then we're going to go to the Design tab and slide custom, slide size custom slide size. Click on that and you can see that the width and the height are specified in inches by default for widescreen. Now they give you some selections here, but they're all printer based, except for the 4x3 and a 16x9s and a 16x10. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our cheat sheet here, and for 720p, we want a slide width of this. So I'm just going to copy that number. Now this number represents pixels, and I'm going to paste it into here. Let's get rid of what's in there. Paste it in there and put the letters PX at the end of that. Okay? Then we're going to do the same thing to the height. Notice how I converted that to inches, and now it's only 3.879. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with the height. I'm going to copy this height to the clipboard, and I'm going to paste it in here and put PX at the end. Now if I come out of there, you'll see converted that to inches as well. Okay, you want that to be landscape, not portrait. You don't have to change those. And you notice we're on custom, so just hit OK, and you want to click Ensure Fit. Now we're dealing with a 16x9, 720p, only its size is reduced by that 3.4375 factor. So now let's create the same slide. We're going to insert a picture. Oh wait, before we insert a picture, we want to make this transparent. So in order to do that, let me start with that. We want to insert a shape of a rectangle. We want to cover the entire area of the slide with it. We want to make sure that the corners snap to the exact size. So I'm going to snap up, snap to the left, and do the same thing on the bottom right. There. Now I know it's the same size. Now if I right mouse click this and choose Format Shape, the fill color doesn't matter. You can make it whatever color you want, because we're going to take the transparency here and we're going to pull it all the way up to 100% so that it's 100% transparent. And then we want to change the line to be no line. Okay. Now we have an object, a transparent rectangle that's sitting on top of the background. Now the background's white. So when we save this, we're not going to save the background. We're just going to save the transparent section and everything that we put on top of it. So to keep this from moving around, I'm going to right mouse click it and lock this so that it can't be moved. It's still got the transparent there, but it can't be moved temporarily. Okay, now I want to insert a picture. Let's choose my favorite dog. And we're going to do the same thing. Try to hit him in the middle. And then insert same business over here. And I want to reduce the font size of that real quick. Take it down a little bit. Because we reduce the actual size of this slide, the text looks huge on it. Okay, there's that. Now, we have everything on there that we need, but if I right mouse click this and say save as picture, it's going to get the background as well. So what I want to do is I want to unlock this transparent layer by right mouse clicking and choosing unlock. Now it's unlocked. Now I just Control A to select all. Right mouse click, save as picture. And we're going to call this scaled 16 by 9 720p. Okay, save that guy. And it's saving it as a PNG. Now we save it. Come back over to this folder, and here's our scaled. You'll notice when I hover, the dimensions now are 1280. Come on now. 1280 by 720, which is the same as the original one over here with the white background. And you can also tell that it's not cropped. Let's just open it up with Photoshop and take a look. Okay, there it is. We've got our checkerboard indicating the transparent background. Let's take a look at the size. Image size. You'll see it's now 1280 by 720 using our magic number 3.4375 as a division factor. But the thing it didn't honor was the 96 dpi. So apparently PowerPoint has hard-coded that resolution for the right mouse click save as, which I referenced earlier in the video. So this is our final result. Just for the heck of it, let's add another layer here, move it to the bottom, and this will be like background. And we can make the background whatever we want it to be. Let me just swap that. Maybe make it this color. Okay, some kind of blue. Hit the paintbrush, and there we can see the quality is pretty good if I zoom in. And as far as the letters, their quality looks good as well. So mission accomplished. That's about it. Also note that the black background, when you look at it in File Explorer, I'm running Windows 11, and this happens in Windows 10 as well. On the thumbnail previews in File Explorer, it'll show transparency as black. Okay, and that's normal. Sometimes, if you save a blank transparent slide with no pictures or text or anything on it, it'll show up as white even though it's still transparent. And that is an indicator that not a single pixel on that transparent background was populated by some kind of color. So that's Windows indicator as far as, well, if it doesn't show up black, it must not have any content, and you'll see a solid white square. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope this is helpful to those web developers that wanted to add their custom shapes and stuff in a slide and just find it very tedious and difficult to do so in Photoshop. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.